Yo, what's up? I'm Jay. I have been waiting to make a full video about this ever since my fandom video. Fandom video was testing out the waters, see if I even wanted to post that stuff. And you know what? I think I do. And if we're gonna talk about fan bases, I am talking about this topic specifically first. One, because again, I felt like I glazed over it and a lot of people were mostly interested in that portion of my last video. And two, this happened in another fan base I was in, so I wanted to take the time to just understand why this happens, figure out what are the components, and like how I truly feel about creators getting parasocial with their fans. The reason why I even wanted to be on the internet so much, I loved fan bases. I loved being a part of communities. I loved interacting with people who like the same characters as me. I liked being part of theories and being part of, discussions and video essays. I loved every single part of being in a community, especially if it was an indie community, and we're gonna get to that later. What I noticed when I was a bit younger, and maybe this is honestly just because I was younger, but creators weren't that big into their fan bases. Like looking at creators now and then looking at creators before, especially since I was in indie spaces, they weren't that interactive, and I understand why. I am going to blame this on COVID. If I can blame everything on COVID, I will. I would and I will. Back then, creators had things like conventions to go to. They had Q&A boards and would answer questions from fans, but it was usually that one-time thing. And, sure, they would still have fan interactions, but they would still have their own personal boundaries. They would answer these things in public, and obviously fans in public would have a lot more decency than they do online. But then COVID happened, conventions shut down, people still wanted to hear from their favorite creators, but we're like, we can't go anywhere with, all this going on. So discussions online with creators became a much more common thing. And it became a much more common thing with people who were much more online. And not going to lie, seeing a pattern, I feel like a lot of indie creators are the ones who are majority on the internet and answering things with their fans. And I talked about this in my last video. When we look at indie creators versus people who are more in the industry, and when I'm talking about creators, I'm mostly talking about creators of medias, like book series, like comics, like shows, like movies, etc. When you go through the industry, you aren't really that big on your own idea, because most of the time when you give something to an industry, you give them a prompt, you give them a soft serve idea of what you want as a show, because in the industry there is a lot of censorship, there's a lot of things that they also want to control. So you giving up an idea gives them a lot of more space to work with, and if they pick up your idea, you're not working by yourself. You are working with a pretty big team of animators, of storyboard artists, of even, co-writers. It's not 100% your idea. And again, that isn't all indie is 100% their idea either. When you work with the studio, you're a good 25% of the production. And that's why people who work for the industry don't really have that big of a pull for their own work. Sure, they'll interact with the fan base every now and then and like the fact that people like their work, but they're not that big on it. They're not that engaged, they appreciate people like their stuff, and that's really it. Indie creators, however, oh my god, I love indie creators. I've loved indie spaces ever since I was a young little lad, okay? I was huge on Five Nights at Freddy's. I was huge on Undertale, even though I was kind of LARPing it. I was only there for the glitch AU, but I don't care. I was huge on things like Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I loved everything that was made by smaller creators because it felt more free, more like it was their work. And they took pride in it. A lot of people who are in the more indie spaces work on every single part majority by themselves or with a very small team. They're around usually in the 75 to 100% theirs when they work on a story. And they work hard. I'm telling you, years of just building one story, and maybe even decades. I know a person who has been working on the same OC lore for 10 years. Oh my god, they love their craft, bro. And that's the thing. Indie creators, indie authors have such a devotion for their stories, for their characters, and I can speak for that for myself. I love my OC so much, and I sound like a maniac every time I try to tell somebody yeah, I'm working on these original characters and they're really cool and stuff, and I've been spending since 2020 figuring out their lore and everything, and I can never figure them out, but I still love them so much, and I change the design every 5 seconds. I sound crazy, but when you talk to an OC artist, you guys interlink, yo. You understand the joy, the passion. It takes dedication to make an original character, and it takes even more to make a story about them. So when indie authors take so long making something, especially if it's animated or like a video game, and they have it in their hands, and they're like, I feel like I'm the only one who can enjoy this. So what do? They put it out online, put it out on something like YouTube or Steam, and just pray to literally whatever they believe in, that maybe there's a small chance that it'll blow up. And it does. Oh my gosh, the feeling of having people look at your stuff, look at the hard work that you put in, whether it be animating, whether it be programming, and enjoying it. Next day, you wake up to people making essays about your characters, people making theories, people understanding the complex lore that you put behind the story. You're finally seen. You love it. I mean, literally, I can't even imagine the feeling of working on something for years and finally seeing it being recognized. Look at all the fan art, even the fanfics, and you're loving every single part of it. So what do? Of course you're going to interact with your fans. They're the only people who can truly see your work for what it is. Screw those big corporations that didn't take your story or didn't want to fund you. Now you have a dedicated fan base that loves what you make. And that's kind of where it all goes wrong. People start getting very close with their fans because they feel like their fans are the only people that can understand their work. Nobody else wanted to, but they get it. They really do. Now, being an indie creator, you can't always make a part 2. You can't always make that book 2. You can't always make that second video game. You can't always make that season 2 or even that episode 2. So what do? If people ask about your characters, you want to respond with things you've been working on. Maybe it's not in a story yet, but hey, you want to know about my characters? This is what I originally had planned for them, and this is what they actually were supposed to do, but I don't know if I'm ever going to make it there. And so when people are really heavily in that creator space, interacting with the creator, asking the creator questions, that's when fan wars start happening. People are taking what the creators say for gospel, yo. Going to the ever-living grounds to prove that what they said was canon. Trust me, it is. And so they get into arguments with other fans that aren't really in that space and just enjoyed the media from when they first watched it, read it, or played it. So when they see people praying that this is canon, they're like, did we watch the same show? Did we play the same game? What are you talking about? Well, the creator said on this one post 5 years ago that blah, blah, and this, blah, blah, that. You sound stupid. What do you mean the creator said that? Hey, creator, what are they talking about? What do you mean you made this canon? Do you not know how to write? Oh, are you saying that you can just make the whole story on some internet post and not even try to add it to your show or your video game? You're stupid. And so that's when that starts happening. And not to mention people probably misinterpreting the creator's characters and the creator trying to say, hey, you're not supposed to think that. Hey, you're not supposed to do that. Hey, you're not supposed to think that about my character. Even though art is for the interpretation and up for whoever wants to think it is what it is. But hey, creators love their stuff, right? When this happens, when fans start getting on a creator about stuff they say about the fan base or stuff they say about, their creation, a creator can go 2 paths. And I'm praying to God that you pick the first path, but usually people pick that second path and then ruin their lives. It happens every time, but whatever, I'm gonna give you the 2 paths anyway and let you know there's a choice, right? Option 1, you can realize that, okay, this is something that is out of my control. People are going way too crazy. People are going insane. This is not what I wanted. I just wanted to have a good time with my fans. But hey, it was nice while it lasted. I will take a break from the internet while you guys can all continue fighting with each other, because at this point, I am not responsible for what you two fight about. I just wanted to have a good time with my fans, and now I see I cannot do that. You kind of should have realized that from the beginning, since media literacy should definitely be a thing if you're going to be on media for a while. But regardless, you should figure that out, and I will give praise to some indie authors. They've understood that. Or you can do what literally everybody else does and fight with a bunch of people on the internet. Oh my goodness, it breaks my heart every time it happens to just try to check up on a creator and it's like, oh, you're actually arguing with every single person who thinks something slightly different about your media. And what sucks is that I am saying this with such anger because that probably would also be me. I understand. I get it. You love your art. You love the thing that you created, and you hate the fact that people are taking you out of context or taking your work out of context or not understanding anything you put into your hard-earned media that you made. But please understand when I say this, it is people online. You do not know these people do not know you. You might think that these people actually care about you, and that's the only reason you had a fan base is because people love you. But that's not true. People just like the work that you made. People don't like you. They don't even know you. You're a person on the internet. So when creators get in these arguments and start fighting their fans because their fans don't understand what they were trying to say, and their fans will never get them, and they should have gotten them, it's heartbreaking to see. It is, because when I look at why this happened in the first place, it was just a creator who thought people got their work. People loved their craft. People actually respected them. People wanted to know more about their characters. It started off as something innocent. And it sucks to see because once a creator starts hating on their fans, the fans will start hating back and start getting parasocially hateful and start despising them and start criticizing every single little thing about their work, even parts that aren't even worth criticizing for or aren't deserved to be criticized. You see this creator fall down this rabbit hole of continuously posting tweets trying to fight every single fan that doesn't like them. And then fans will start fighting with the creator and then start finding stuff about that creator and then start outing stuff about that creator that the creator did. And it sucks to see every time, every single time. It sucks to see. I want to hate creators so much more. I do. For when this happens. And I'm saying this with such passion because I am also a person who has OCs that I deeply care about. And I am so terrified of even thinking about having a fan base or really wanting to post my OC content out there because I know how I would feel if somebody were to misinterpret my story. If someone were to misinterpret my OCs. If someone were to water down the things I made. I would probably get into arguments too. I have learned, and I'm not even going to say this from like a creator of a media. I'm saying this of a creator in general, especially like if you're on YouTube. When I first started YouTube and I would get my hate comments, I wanted to actually fight. Like, I felt so personal. And then I asked myself, you don't know who they are, Jay. You have no idea who this person is. You don't know if they're hating for a valid reason. You don't know if they just want you to react. You don't know if they just want you to respond. They're just somebody. Somebody on the internet that you should not care about. And move on with your day. And I've felt amazing. I love interacting with my fan base. I love interacting with people on in my server, but I also know my limits. I also know that these are just people that I don't know anything about. And as much as they could be super chill to interact with, I don't want that to go too far. I wanted to make this video because one, you know, this isn't just for show, people who make shows, people make movies, people make books. This is also for YouTubers. You know, I want to make this so I can remind myself not to get parasocial with my own fans. I can remind other people who are in the YouTuber space not to get parasocial with their own fans. But yeah, again, that's really all I wanted to say for this video. If you did enjoy, you know, if you liked my little, you know, breaking this down, consider liking, consider subscribing, consider hyping, you know. I don't like mentioning creators' names here, but I am telling you, you could probably think of 3 creators on the top of your head. It's probably who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna lie. But if you've had your own experiences and you feel a different kind of way about this, you know, say it in the comments. I love to read people's comments about the things I make. But if you are a person who wants to share their art, share their interests, share their hobbies, share things they enjoy, or just want to talk to people, I do have a Discord server. It's called the Interstellar Art Space, and I love literally everybody in there. Oh my gosh, art is immaculate. People are immaculate. We host events there. It's wonderful, I'm telling you. I think that's it that I have to say for this video. Yeah. Let me end this video actually right now. Bye.